Yo, what's good everyone? This is Nathan Cross checking in, and today's video is going to be a shoe review on the Under Armour Spotlight football cleats. Now, from the research that I did and actually testing the cleats out, I find that the Under Armour Spotlights actually come with an innovative speed form construction that molds perfectly to your foot, especially with the innovation of the clutch fit upper. And something I actually found is that, they kind of adapted the old school technology from the Under Armour Speedform Apollos, and then even before that, its predecessor, the Under Armour Speedform RCs, and then they added that, but it sort of came out first in their soccer cleat lineup, and then that eventually was adapted in the football cleats. An extension of that previous point is the implementation of the seamless molded heel cup for precision feel, fit, and comfort. What I also found is that the lacing system feels best when extended all the way to the bottom of the ankle collar. And what's probably related to the fact that I really did go half a size up because they felt a little bit too snug for me. But ultimately, they do feel really locked down when you do elect to go all the way up to that final lacing loop. Now, just by looking at the shoe, it's natural to sort of anticipate that these shoes are relatively lightweight, and they are some of the lightest shoes I've ever played in, but ultimately they're not as light as you think they would be. They aren't as light as like this old school Adidas 5-star cleat. These are cleats I've been using from before. But these are not as comfortable, these are not as supportive, so it's just a matter of keeping in mind the materials that they do use to make the shoe, which is going to accommodate for the extra weight that you're probably not even going to feel anyways. As for the traction pattern, it's pretty good, but not as aggressive as some of the other traction patterns on other shoes out there. But nonetheless, if I were to give the Spotlight cleats a ranking on the traction scale, I would probably be about an 8 out of 10. I found that the traction was pretty good, but the only thing that I discovered is that the feel, when performing on grass and turf, it wasn't as aggressive as some other traction patterns out there. A good comparison would be to the Under Armour Nitro Low MCs. It could be a matter of the cleat shape, the length, the material used to make each cleat plate, but what I'd like to say is that, the latter, the Nitro Lows, were just a little bit better. The one thing to keep in mind though is that regardless of grass or turf, they were both pretty good. On wet grass, however, the Spotlight Lows, they just weren't as effective in my opinion. When we talk about cushioning and support, the interesting thing is that these cleats don't actually come with, a removable insole. It's more built-in than anything, with the padding on the heel extending through the center line or the arch of the foot throughout the forefoot, ending right at the toes. And I'm not really sure what material they did use to make this padded surface, but it is pretty comfortable. It's actually one of the most comfortable, probably the most comfortable cleat I've ever worn. Moving towards the extremity of the cleats, it actually comes with padding just around the ankle collar. And just moving towards the outside, we can start off by looking at the P-back's external heel counter for ultimate locked-in structure and support. And this is ultimately just to provide stiffness, but also flexibility in all the right places. We've got an IC chromed out TPU plate built for maximum breakaway speed in combination with the V56 technology. Now, one of the sales associates broke this down for me in the store, and I had to do some research on this for myself. Now, this V56 tech in the forefoot is engineered to help limit toe hyperextension. And it's actually interesting that I got these shoes at the same time that I was actually nursing a toe injury, a really heavy toe sprain from when I was doing parkour. This really does help to limit hyperextension. Again, the TPU plate is pretty stiff, and when guys ask me, how the shoes felt, they tried to bend it a little bit, it didn't look too flexible. When you put the shoe on, that's when it has that right amount of flexibility. This is the shoe that has allowed me to run the fastest that I've ever ran on grass or turf, and ultimately it prevents that hyperextension of the toe, because when I'm wearing shoes like these ones right here, the ones I was wearing before, I felt that there was a lot of bending. There's nothing to prevent me from over extension of those toes, just at the end of those joints there. But when I was wearing the Spotlight cleats, all those problems were taken care of. something that you should actually anticipate when looking at these shoes fresh out the box or even in the store, is that these shoes will lose, that initial glare, that shine, especially when it comes down to the chromed out bottom on the cleat plate. But after just a couple days, I can look at the bottom of the shoes. And again, the football team that I coach on, we got a turf field, so it's not too much dealing with dirt or an excess of moisture. I just noticed chipping within the first couple of days, and that's something that interests me, and it's something I also anticipated. That is definitely going to be your worst case scenario. Depending on what colorway you do get, if you get it in this particular colorway, we got it both in the same. You can anticipate that the shine is going to be gone off the upper, and there's going to be chipping at the bottom of the cleat plate, no doubt, especially that chrome. But especially with the broken off cleats towards the toe area, that's definitely an extreme case. So you can most likely anticipate the comfort is going to be there. That's the one thing that has stayed the same throughout this entire season. They're just as comfortable as when he first put them on, and the same thing with me. From a positional perspective, if you're a wide receiver or a DB that really values agility in their game, really needs that ankle mobility in order to make these quick moves, cuts, and changes in directions, and ultimately these are definitely A1 and perfect cleats for you. Now, if you're a running back and you really do need a pair of cleats that caters to that similar type of game, then these are obviously cleats that you can consider, but ultimately you may want to look a little bit longer and further for a pair of cleats that'll really survive the long haul, that are a little bit more durable. Now, the underlying question is, are these shoes worth the price? They are, sort of. I mean, it kind of depends on, where you're coming from, what your circumstances are. If you've got the money to get those shoes for just that season, cool. If you want to wear them for more than one season, good luck, because they're not going to look the same. So I'd suggest getting them in a different colorway, and they might be as durable as you need them to be, depending on whether or not you've got more than one pair of cleats in your circulation. If you got two or one other pair of cleats, then cool, you should be just fine. One for practice, one for the games, or just you like to mix it around. But ultimately, they're pretty good pair of cleats. Position wise and circumstance wise, they're a pretty good pair. Alright y'all, so that's the video. If you have any questions or concerns, make sure to leave it in the comment section below. And I actually am working on a couple of things right now. I will be coming out with some position-specific footwork videos featuring these cleats and the nitro lows. So those will be coming out in the next few weeks, especially with the football season over. So just make sure to look out for those. And I will see you guys next time. This is Nathan Cross, checking out. Peace.